I just feel like talking. I got a whole lot of stuff on my mind that I just want to talk about. It just feel like it's layered. It feel like it's layered. It always feel like it's layered. So I would say the last 3 to 4 weeks have felt like one big long moment. That's what I'll say. Emotionally, seeing things unfold, and then maybe coming into this very last week, having a lot of healthy conversations, having conversations that have irritated me, but have been like beneficial and ways of figuring things out. And also witnessing how people talk about certain things. I'm always worried about the human condition and how we treat each other and what our relationships look like. It doesn't matter with who. I'm not talking about just romantic. I'm talking about all of them, because pretty much how one of them goes, all of them go. Or maybe not. Maybe not your most intimate ones. Only some people get to see all of you. But I just feel like I saw this series of over acknowledgement of the same problem with no resolution. Like, there's so many people outside with podcasts talking about relationships, talking about issues, and talking about this and talking about that. I don't ever hear anybody talking about resolve. Like, what's the step to resolve the problem? I hear people talk about what they want. And that doesn't even seem to be like have a healthy. What am I trying to say? What's the word I need to use right there? It's not solid. It's kind of reactive. It's not solid. So it's coming from like a reactive space that they want. And most of it, I think, comes from fear, and also comes from not really knowing how to acknowledge what's wrong because of lack of vocabulary, and lack of vocabulary coming from lack of knowing how to express your emotions, or not even knowing how you feel, not even knowing what word to put on the emotion that you do feel so you can figure out what the fuck is wrong with you. And maybe I'm going to try not to cuss. I'm going to try. I don't know. But like I was saying, not really knowing the words. If you don't know the words, you can't properly identify how you feel. And then you go through the same cycle of stuff with different people, and patterns repeat themselves. And then it just becomes a cyclical, sickening cycle of dysfunction. You function in your dysfunction because it's the program that you know. You know what I mean? Oh, DJ Omni requested to be on your live view. All right, I'm trying. So I just feel like it creates like a stutter. I was working with this leader like years ago. She described it as a hiccup. It's the same thing. It's like it becomes this bump. And you know that the bump is there, but you don't know how to acknowledge the bump. You don't know how to acknowledge the bump. You don't know what to name the bump. You just know that you're so used to dealing with it, and you created ways to get around it, and you created ways to get over it, and you hope that it goes away, and you hope that a new wave or something comes so it can just go in the background again. And then when it come up again, you just let yourself sit in the shit instead of going deeper into it, figuring out what it is, ripping it up so it doesn't come back again. DJ Omni is unable to join. All right. I don't know. Really, it's just getting on my nerves. I had conversations this week about parenting and why some people treat parenting like a choice. Like that's okay. Like you're okay with doing absolutely nothing in your name. That's you Your name represents that. Your name represents the lack. That you're okay with your name equating to doing absolutely nothing. Okay. I have a serious gripe with people who just don't take care of their kids. It shouldn't even be an issue. You shouldn't maybe this subject need to be talked about separately, but I'm just recapping on some of the conversations I had over the last couple of weeks that I think need to be expanded on. And I just feel like there shouldn't be another person telling you what to do for your kids. You should always break your neck for them. You know where you came from, what type of lifestyle or livelihood you came up under. You should always want better for them. You should be breaking your back. I tell people all the time, it's a handful of people out there, and I really admire them when they can have kids and understand that they've reached a point in their relationship where maybe if they can't even get along, they know how to keep the respect there for each other and just be good co-parents to the kids. Like it's you're not throwing knives at each other anymore. You're just doing what you need to do because that's your seed and period. Why do you need other people to come between you? Why do you need a court system? Why do you need a judge, somebody who lives outside of your house? I tell my kids, my younger kids homeschool, right? If they don't turn something in, I get an email. First thing I say is, I don't want no strangers calling me. Don't you? I don't want these people in my. That's like them being in my house and me not giving them permission to be. What are they calling me for? I don't want to talk to them. Now I got to talk to the teacher. Bro, how's such a, mind your business. They're fine. They just need to pay attention and they need to get back on this thing. And I need to be more aware of what's happening when I turn my back around, because my God, with homeschool, they just give you access to everything and it's so distracting and it just presents a whole nother issue. And it's very similar to that. Why are these outsiders telling you what to do when it comes to raising your family? If you need help, you need help. But the pride, that's where the pride is so displaced. Like you're okay. Oh my God. The way that whole conversation went, I wish I just recorded it so I don't have to get into it right now, but man, please. The other conversation was how ridiculous the dating pool is. Oh my God. I just feel like Benjamin Buttons. I did my life backwards. Well, maybe I shouldn't say I did it backwards. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say I got married very young. I got married when I was, how old was I? I was either 18 or 19. I don't know. No, I was 19. What? I was 20 when I got married. Wow, that's crazy. I was 20 when I got married. I got married right before I turned 21. That's what it was. Yep. Trying to think how old Tayana was. So I didn't really do all this extra shit that other people doing. And even now, being single at this age, I don't even see the point of why people do half the goofy shit that they do. I mean, I guess because of their experience and they just need to get some stuff out of their system. But some of us would just phone down here, I think, with forever plus one energy. And I think I'm just one of them people. Like, you don't need to be I don't need to be all over the place. First of all, I ain't got I don't feel like remembering a whole bunch of stuff. I don't understand. I don't understand how people get into half the shit that they get into. Ugh. Maybe, all right, to some degree, I do. But I don't understand why they stay there. Maybe that's what I want to say. I don't understand why they stay there. And I just, I, if I was in a relationship right now, I think I would still be concerned about the dating pool and what that looks like. Because y'all really crazy, really crazy outside. A lot of people are afraid. They want commitment, but they don't want to really be tied down or feel like they have, or somebody has control over them. I was talking to this one guy, said, it amazes me how, first of all, loyal women are very scary, and it's a lot of us left out there. I want to disclaim that right now, right? I said, it really amazes me how some of y'all will have 10, 11 women in your back pocket and they'll all be the same. You know that they have like a devoted type of energy and they'll all only just be talking to you. But you'll never go after the woman that's just like you. And I said that, and it opened up this other thought of me saying that that's a direct mothering issue. That's an issue that came up with you and your mother. Because for you to look for a multitude of nurturing women, loyal women, that says something about what you were lacking. And so what it does is it creates a toxic cycle because those loyal women will never get a full commitment from you because you haven't learned how to fully commit to yourself because your origin of being nurtured is completely corrupted or it just don't exist. And you feel like you need different versions of it from different people to be satisfied. And you never really satisfied because the thing inside of you got to be satisfied. And until you acknowledge it as an issue like that, you're never going to be satisfied. And then it's like this other complex of, well, I'm grown. You can't tell me that I got this issue. Well, yeah, I can. It's like it's clear as day. Can't communicate, emotionally unavailable. Think that every time somebody offers something they're trying to gain control is it's not a control issue. It's a trying to find harmony. It's understanding the likeness that already exists. And you sit there putting up a fight over every little goddamn thing because you just don't want to feel like you have lost control when you really never had control in the first place. That's just your ego trying to make you think that you do because you need something to make you feel like you were in power. It's crazy. It's really crazy to me. Like, what's left for single people like me? Hello? And where's my cousin? What? Oh, I didn't know all these people. You know, Instagram is the lead. I hope y'all ain't leave. I'm just saying hi. I don't know where my cousin went. Once upon a time, he was trying to jump on. I don't know what he's doing. Probably brushing his hair because he got to be cute for everything under the sun. He's crazy. Anyway, yeah, I just don't get it. And it's all age categories. So I feel like I've been more observant and accepting and indifferent. Just seeing, just watching. And hearing some people talk and seeing that they're in the same cycle of fear that they've been in. Maybe some things have changed, but the overall view has not changed. The overall view still has a lot of armor. And the other part that I was going to say about that, with with some guys who have issues where they need that extra boost of nurturing and it not being satisfied by just one person, it creates a huge burden and it's already the world is overpopulated with women, but then you create this group of women that just sit around and question their sense of worthiness because they know that they have devoted and been loyal to somebody who never wanted to sit there and stay in the first place ever. Even if okay, so I feel like if I just talk about my stories, it'll just make sense. I'm not making up shit. I don't feel like it. I just won't say no names. But if you're talking to somebody and you say where you are in your life, what you want, everybody knows what they want. That's why listening to some of these relationship podcasts just gets on my goddamn nerve because at the end of the day, you know what you really want. Everybody know. You might not know what you want to do in a moment. You know what you want. If you want to be in the street, just say you want to be in the street. If you want to be committed and see what that looks like, say that. If you want to get married, say that. But you got to go into practice, and that means you have to be loyal with your dating relationships, they have to be with intention. Anyway, so what the hell was I was saying something before I got right here. I think I was saying something about the type of the group of women that it creates, where they just feel uh kicked out or dismissed or emotionally forced away, because once a relationship reaches a certain point, that person is just not there. Even if you're sitting right next to them, it's like that. It's like that Jill Scott song. Oh, what's the name? I was just listening to the song the other day. Lonely when you're around. Like you just a bump on the log. You're there and you're not, because mentally you don't really know how to sort things out. And you know what's so crazy about people like this who find nurturing women? When you find a nurturing woman, you're with somebody who can probably give you the answers to everything that you need. It's just very scary to be vulnerable and to turn over so many emotions and not even know the words to describe them, but feel so much and it well up, and you just don't know how to push it out. It's like a guy's version of trying to have a baby. It's like a guy's version of trying to have a mental baby or an emotional baby, and it's very hard giving birth to that. Like it's a form of shock. I mean, giving birth to a child ain't no walk in the park. It's hard. It's hard because you have to, as a woman who's giving birth to multiple kids, you have to really push from a very deep place. And I feel like for guys, for them to have to express things that they've never acknowledged, that's their version of pushing from a very, very deep place. Nobody teaches men how to breathe and get through their emotions. They teach them how to just swallow that shit and throw it under a blanket and hope that you do your best as an adult. And that's not fair, because then to the people that want to communicate and want to be close to them and want to create harmonious relationships with them, because you see, I'm about to say a cuss word, potential, because you see potential. You want to give them this emotional answer and they just can't receive it. And it is so fucking annoying, because you see the wall go up immediately. And this is what stops resolution. Oh, she was too much. Oh, she's too emotional. Oh, she's too expressive. It's not that she's too much of any of these things. It's just that you're not used to the language. You're not used to where to put the feelings when the language is being spoken, because it'll make you uncomfortable, because you haven't been able to name how you feel for so long. And when you hear a word come that can just identify how you feel, it might make you feel small because of how long you've walked around with the problem and never knew it. Everybody goes through the same shit. And I'm going to tell you something, man. I told one of my friends the other day. I'm a person that I've always valued solid relationships. I've been an old lady since I was a little kid. I have always valued a very solid relationship. One where you can just be honest and be yourself. And every person, almost every person that's a senior to me and my family that I would consider my walking notebook, I have lost. And they're no longer here, right? My mother was the last that left. And a matter of fact, what's today's date? Today is the 3rd? No, the 4th. I don't know what today is, what the number day is anymore. The 2nd was Wednesday. Today is Friday, so it's the 4th. Yesterday was the day. Last night was the night that I would have taken her to the hospital a couple years ago, and a few days later she was gone. So maybe this is why so much has come full circle for me at this time. But when you lose enough of the right people, the significance of what the fuck are we even here in the first place will really start to come up in your brain in a different way. You'll start processing stuff differently because you understand that time is very borrowed and don't nobody really have none of that shit to waste. And while you out here trying to not even figure out your issue, but in the midst of you doing a version of that, you're disfiguring other people's emotional states. And this shit is just not fair. It's just creating one dumping ground after another dumping ground after another dumping ground. And it's just such a shitty way to be. I can't stand it. I hate it. Because you create cycles that you can't ever or won't ever. You can fix them, but you just won't. Too scared to be the bad guy. That's what one of my friends says. She say, some people are just too afraid to be the bad guy. And it's very, very true. You say, oh, I'm human. Oh, I just made a mistake. And ain't nobody really trying to hear that. Because all of us are human and make mistakes. But it's a difference between the people who make the mistake and correct it versus the people who make the mistake and then create a habit out of it and do it over again like, oops. Like, oh, that's just me. What? Anybody trying to deal with that? So, anyway, you value relationships it becomes more intense. Let me just say that. I became way more intense. Way more intense. And to be honest with you today, I feel like I walk around here parentless. Like I have other people that I look towards to and still apprehensive. It's like you can't really put a time frame on when you can let a parent fully go, right? You just be grateful that there's some people that you can go to for certain things, but you miss having it. Even if look, I drove my mother crazy with half the stuff I used to talk to her about, but even if she just didn't say anything back, it's just the fact that she was there. I think that even the way people are, the way they treat each other, it's like a misuse of a different it's like a misuse of the value system. It's just applied to relationships. It's crazy. I was listening to a live and this one question, I didn't have a problem with this question when it was first like what do they call them? It's not cliche. It's like the something word or the catchphrase or something for the current time that we in. When people started this, what do you bring into the table shit? I didn't have a problem with it at first. Now it's just a thorn in my damn side every time I hear it. It just aggravates the mess out of me. Because some people will say that they bring a lot to the table and they can't even name what it is. And even if they name what it is, most of it is very materialistic. It's not anything, or maybe I just need to start listening to different podcasts. It's not anything from here. So like if you're coupled with somebody and you lose everything and you're with somebody that can't sustain you mentally or emotionally, y'all gonna break up. Because if it was left up to the heart to decide what to do with y'all version of y'all ruin of whatever that is that you went through, how can you talk or speak life into the other person if you don't even have that tool? If your tool for speaking life into another person was your money, that's not this. It's a whole lot more that people should be considering to be table talk or things on the table than just the mundane regular stuff. That topic aggravates my soul at this point because now it's just become so it's become almost competitive. It's like it's not even sincere. It's not to say I bring a lot to the table because you're not talking about your sense of achievements in a way where pride is even being used in the right way. It's almost to the point where it's competition. Like, even if people want to come sit at your table, you're already telling them that they're not good enough. They ain't even get a word out yet. You're just automatically judging them, and you automatically putting pictures together what you think their life is, or what you think their whatever is. You just it's put people in such a position to be so judgmental without facts. Because they stop talking about, like, they, or maybe I should say, don't really include anything solely. Like, it's no richness from that area. When I hear, like, do you pray? Do you talk to God? Do you make sure that you say something encouraging to the person that you with? Because a lot of people want that, and damned if they be the person to give it. Heavy eye roll. You would roll your eye heavy, Mark. Shut up. But seriously, it's like, that topic is a thorn to me at this point. Because in the beginning, it was really more or less of, it was like that Steve Harvey thing. Would you date you? So from that perspective of, where do I need to make improvements? Where do I need to improve myself? Is where the root of that question came from. Now it's just like, you can't touch this. Like, get the, oh my God. Well, then we just don't touch anything then. Just forget it. Shit's annoying. Anyway. Part of me wish I would have went out. Because if I had this on my mind, I definitely probably would have brought it up. And at least I would have been face to face, seeing people's, you're super irks. You think so? Yeah, it's annoying. What is the point of all of this? What is the point of relating to other people? Is it to build walls or to build harmony? Because I just feel like it's to build harmony. But I feel like it's a lot of things that we have to break down and rebuild back up. We just need to understand what the tools are to do that, and we need to learn how to use them. I just want to start talking about resolution. I just want to start talking about resolution. It's like a toothache. Okay, it's like a toothache. Like, you get the same ache in your mouth, right? You know that your tooth is cracked. The solution is going to the dentist, but you never go. You just keep taking Tylenol or Aleve or drugs so that the pain can go away. It's a temporary fix. It's not really, you're not getting the root canal. You're not getting the problem fixed. You're not getting it addressed. You just patching it. And over time, it just get worse and worse and worse and worse. And you know what eventually happens when a tooth goes to so much pain over and over again, a nerve eventually dies and it becomes numb. But then your tooth could start to rot, and your breath could start to stink, and then, oh my God, you don't even know what's going on because you're just so numb to it. You numb to all of it. You don't even know you're talking to people, and they just trying to do like this because they can't stand in front of you no more because they can't take the sight or the smell. See what I'm saying? Like, you've become numb to it, to every single part of it. Like, it's crazy. It gets pulled. That's a You're right. It does. I have definitely gone there. But what I'm saying is, it's like a resistance or fear with even trying to resolve the problem. I think it's like a fear built around it. It's like, no, I did, like, this been my remedy. It's been working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. No, it's very broken. Let's just help. Let's get somebody else to help come fix it because it need to be fixed. It just ah, I'm about to go get myself a drink and go to sleep. Bye. What? Iris is like sleep talking. Bye. Mm-mm-mm. Why my dumb ass turned my head thinking you were sitting up straight? No, I'm not sitting up straight. I'm definitely laying down. People definitely fear conflict. They do fear conflict. I think I think people fear conflict not only because they're afraid to be the bad guy, but there's a responsibility that comes along with figuring out an issue. And like I said, with the responsibility, some people don't know the words. Like you'll hear a lot of people argue and say, "So now what?" Because that's all they got. Like they don't really know. That's why you should just read books. I would say read books. I would say do what your gut tells you to do in any situation. I would say if it makes you shake and it makes you nervous, that's the thing that you should probably be doing. That's the conversation that you should probably be having because that's fear trying to teach you how to overcome it. I don't think fear comes to just be a detrimental layer. It can and it will and it does if you don't really know how to properly use it. It's another tool. It's something that actually is supposed to teach you how to fight. You won't know how to fight unless a fight comes. You just won't know how to do it. So I think that it's as great a tool as anything else. And it'll also teach you how to get over yourself. Because then once you start to overcome stuff, not that it was easy, but it'll feel like it was always simple. You just didn't see it that way. It'll feel I mean, independent depending on whatever your approach is, and also depending on whatever the situation is, the person involved. You know, a lot of times we avoid conflict because you gauge how you know a person is already going to react, and you just don't want to deal with certain things. I mean, I'm guilty of that till this day. Some conversations, I just. But the thing is, I'll tell you're getting on my nerves. And I'm not. I don't be trying to be mean. I just be trying to be honest. I can't talk about this right now because you're getting on my nerves. So I don't want to be mad. So I'm just going call you back or I'm gonna talk about it later. But I'm not going to ignore it. I'm just letting you know. Like some people don't even do that. They just walk off the stage. And I will say there have been some situations where I have walked off the stage with some people, but it had a lot to do with how they devalued our relationship. If you make me feel like I'm not worth your time or worth respect, then really there's we don't need to talk about anything. We just, bye. People definitely met. Exit stage left. Oh my God, you sound like my mom. Exit stage left. Yes. 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 Because there's no point. I wish I could go into that story, but I don't feel like it. It's actually, it's actually two of them. It's actually two of them. But I don't. It's exhausting for the person that's always trying and always present, always being there. Once you're, it's scary when you gotta let certain people go that have been present with you for a very long time because you just get used to them taking up that space and you don't really want to um think about absence because then you don't because it's like another form of rejection, like not having somebody present. It's it's like a backwards form of rejection. So you don't really want to cause that and you don't want to deal with it because then it starts to feel like another negative burden. But when you start to actually exercise your boundaries or redefine them, oh yeah, that was another good subject that came up in that um, live or podcast I was watching the other day, was boundaries. You really start to reevaluate some things, and you understand how people value you, if they value you at all, and it becomes very easy to cut a cord. Oh man, it's like taking a shit. It becomes very easy. But one thing they brought up was boundaries, and they said, do your boundaries change? I totally agreed with it, because I feel like as you grow through certain things and you start to understand yourself better, your boundaries are going to shift because your perspective is going to change. And some things, like I said, that may have seemed hard before will seem very simple now. So with some things, you can kind of let a wall down. And with some things, you can just build a stronger foundation. And your no is your no and your yes is your yes. And the Bible say that, and I ain't arguing with nobody. And that's it. That's it. So, yeah, boundaries was a really good one. Boundaries was a good one. And you know what else I was going to say about when I mentioned about guys having mothering issues? It's no different than a woman having her fathering issues. Like, you go through this phase of people pleasing, like you attract only a certain kind. And the only reason why you're attracting a certain kind is because that's the broken part of you. Like, all of us down here, right, are made up of all the same elements. We just have different degrees of them. So we all have all of the elements. All of us. If you got a human body, you got all of them: earth, air, fire, water, ether. And you're the sixth element because you're the human. Hello? All right. So when you meet people that you are instantly attracted to, like your attraction is like, it's something without using words. Y'all are resonating on a certain energetic level. And a relationship, the way it unfolds, will show you what y'all both could work on to improve your human experience. You either understand that and it goes into a long relationship, or it could be a short one. But you should be happy to have that experience because all of it is for growth. Sometimes it'll hurt, sometimes it won't, but all of it is for growth. You're not meeting them or crossing their path for nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not meeting them or crossing their path for no reason. And if it gets to a point of being completely unhealthy, then you have to check yourself and say, well, what am I doing that's attracting this type? What is unhealthy with me that's similar to what's happening with this relationship? What am I ignoring? What am I not doing? What am I just not doing? And you'll get the answer because you're seeking it. It may come in right away, it might come slow, but you'll get it because you're asking. You like sincerely trying to figure it out. And the thing um with women and the fathering issue, it's not, you know what, I think it goes beyond women, because I don't know a human that just doesn't want to feel safe. Do you? I mean, I don't know. Is it just me? I don't know a human down here that just don't want to feel safe or loved. Safety is a huge thing. So some women, like you'll hear guys say, oh, women are clingy. To a woman who's never experienced a man that makes her feel safe, something in her is going to cling to him. I'll just be honest. It may not be like over exaggerated, but you'll have that happiness about that woman show up in a different way, because you see the possibility of that type being available, especially if you've had fractured male relationships all your life. When you come across one, the reason why you may even come across them is because you realize that you got to figure this shit out. So then you'll be put in front of one. And because they're local, they're right there with you. A lot of women get caught up in the thinking that that's the only one that can be that way. When really it's just trying to show you, trying to give you like a a view of seeing that there are people out here that's willing to support you and protect you and show you how to support yourself and show you how to protect yourself and give you a really healthy male perspective on some issues. So yeah, but the woman will at first cling, but it's up to the woman to kind of go through where that clinging is coming from and understanding a healthy way to kind of live out that dynamic and not just be so, because that was me. I'm telling you this shit because it was me. I mean, it wasn't me for a long, long time, but I noticed that I would do it. Like I said, I got married early, so my mind was already somewhere early. Like I was really just committed. Like, oh, we gonna go through the storm. We gonna, man, I almost went crazy. Mm-mm. Nah, the storm had to be over, beloved. It just had to be what it was. But when I started to dig backwards, I understood where all this shit was coming from. And it really was from the distorted, dysfunctional relationship with my dad. It really was. So some things I just had to fix. I had to fix it because it was the imbalance of my own male energy. All of us got each other's energy. You know, guys got some male and female. Women got some male and female. It just is what it is. You can't do nothing about the human. Uh, what was the words of physiology? I don't know. You know what I mean? She just is talking to me. She said, I know what you mean. She probably do. She probably know exactly the word I'm trying to say. Well, anyway, I'm saying this, the human makeup. We can't control that. We can just control what we do while we in it. So, you know, understanding what part of my male energy needed to be healed was oh my God, key. Oh my gosh, it was so key to how to where I am right now. My God. Key. Key. I just feel like, what are we going to talk about on another day? Because I don't feel like talking no more. She says she's trying to sleep. Shut up, Mark. She's not trying to sleep. She's trying to be in my business in her sleep. She's trying to be in my business in her sleep. And you know what's so funny? I'm still understanding. I'm still watching things unfold. But when I see things unfold now, I have more of like I'm not beating myself up about it anymore. I have a different approach to it, and I've always looked at things differently, but I really, really look at them differently now. Like I leave room for certain things, but not in an unhealthy way. You know, it's kind of like understanding that if I had to get here, so do other people. So room in that sense. But you can tell when somebody is BSing. And like I said, living in that, oh, this is just me mess. When that, you go ahead. Good night. Bye. Don't, because now you're just trying to put an excuse so you don't have to put yourself through changing because you're so comfortable in being how you are. Anyway, what? Mark, why can't you just go live? Now I just feel like I want to talk. I need to talk to somebody. It's weird getting on live. It's so weird. It's a cop out. What's a cop out? What's a cop out? I don't remember what I just said. Stop telling me to breathe. What's a cop out? I don't know. Have a drink. Mark, you doing the exact shit that I was talking about this whole time. Cover it up, act like it's not their drink. The cop out is when they say, "This is just me." Oh yeah. That's what I said. That's right. This is just me. This is how I am. And then get on the defense. Ain't nobody gonna change that. You can't tell me how to feel. Nobody's even trying to tell you how to feel. I'm just telling you what I'm repeating back to you what you said, but you just. So I'm repeating back to you what you said, but you're telling me not to tell you how you feel. I'm just telling you what you said. I mean, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, and yeah, like a week and a half ago, was having this very conversation. Like I didn't say anything. You're doing all the talking. You realize that, right? I was just, I just said, "Wow," and just let it fly. It was amazing. It was, it was amazing. It was. I'm going to bed. Hi, Joe. Joe, you gonna have to watch from when I stopped it, man. I think I might have gone in a little teeny bit again. I don't know. I don't know. But I know one thing. I'm about to go, and I'm about to go have my SoCo. I'm so tired of y'all talking about me and Southern Comfort. Southern Comfort is amazing. One of my friends said that's the that's the drink. He said that's the drink that women with mustaches. I said, well, and I'm just going to have to change the face of whatever that looked like because Southern Comfort is amazing. It's a good right in the middle. Y'all drinking all that tequila floor wax. Y'all can have it. It's disgusting. Yeah, I can't stand it. It tastes like it tastes like rubbing alcohol with I don't know something. It's just nasty. Yeah. Good night, Jen. Southern Comfort is for cougars. Well, guess what, buddy? I'm single. Who knows which way the cards are going to start to. I mean, which way the chips is going to fall. However you say that fancy ass line. I don't know. I drank 20 grand. What? Mm. Nope. 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 Y'all nasty. Y'all can have all of that stuff. It's disgusting. Southern Comfort. Now Southern Comfort is good for cougars. You know, when I go out sometimes, I ask them if they got Southern Comfort. If they say no, I give them the whole third degree of why they really need to have this drink. And then sometimes I come back and they have it. And then when I go places and they have it, I just celebrate. I celebrate with the bartender like, oh my gosh, really? What? Y'all have it? So cold, Lord help her. Shut up. Yeah, man. All right. I'm done with the deep stuff. Unless y'all want to jump on live. Other than that, I'm not trying to fall asleep on live. That would be so stupid. I am going. I gotta find another subject to talk about another day. Bye.